but I'm labeled a cradle Catholic, which I didn't know what that meant until about 5 months ago. That might give you an idea of sort of my history within my faith. I grew up in Burlington, Ontario, a very traditional upbringing. My dad worked in a factory all his life, and Mom stayed home with our 5 kids. But I think back now, in perspective, there was a ton of religious inputs and impacts. We grew up in, went to St. John Baptist School, and we had all the traditional strappings of that. The priest would come on a regular basis.
They're laughing about strappings.
That's actually true as well. Not what I meant though. All the sacraments we went through. The priest would come and talk for every confession. All those things. My mother was a 15-year president of the Catholic Women's League. I had an uncle on my father's side who was a priest, and when I was confirmed, he was my sponsor. Quick story there, I was hoping he wouldn't give me a Bible, and he gave me a football as a gift. And in all that influence in those, say, 20 years, I never once understood the goal was to have a loving personal relationship with God. Not once. Religion in my house was defined by routine, by obligation, by inconvenience, by family squabbles, having to go. In my late teens, and all my siblings as well, we just stopped going. And I can't say I left my faith, because there wasn't any faith. It was just having to do things that didn't add any value to anybody's life, and we just stopped doing them, and really kind of left them behind when Dad stopped fighting about making us go. My next 30 years, I came to Halifax, which was the best decision of my life. Went to St. Mary's, played football.
You didn't just play football, though, right?
We have time for that?
I mean, there's a street named after your coach.
Exactly. So I had a wonderful opportunity to come to St. Mary's for 2 reasons. Coach Utek asked, and no one else did. And I came to play football and my academics in that order. So I did graduate with a commerce degree, very proud. I had a wonderful career there, played in great teams, played with incredible people, played for a great coach named Larry Utek, and it certainly helped me grow in a number of different ways. So finished up at university, got a great job, went to work at a beer company, Labatt's, for 22 plus years. Loved that, married a wonderful lady. Always joked that she married beneath her, but she completely married beneath her. 3 kids, healthy, good kids, not perfect. Their parents aren't either. They're good kids that bring lots of love and joy to our house. From a faith standpoint, the church was sort of used for transactions. So we got married in the church, because you get married in church. 2 of our 3 were baptized in the church, funerals in the church, and then that was it. It was kind of, I didn't bother Jesus, and Jesus didn't bother me. This was kind of my approach to it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, he just didn't play a role.
Wow, so you had, what I'm seeing more and more is a common Catholic upbringing of going, but not really understanding why or what. Coming to, like the bishop said last night, get things done, sacraments, baptism, but kind of going back to football a little bit. In the fall, you were inducted into the Football Hall of Fame at St. Mary's, is that right? One of only 9 individual football players.
And that should be proof to me that miracles do happen.
He wasn't that good. I don't know, I wasn't really allowed.
Tear me down, build me back up.
We love you, good. So, but, no, really though, I mean, you work for Keith's Brewery. You're married and have 3 beautiful children. You're inducted into the Football Hall of Fame in the fall. You had an amazing career, an amazing life, both in sport and in business. A lot of people probably told you had a perfect life at that point in time.
And they did, and I thought I did. I've had many people come up and look at my life, and career-wise and personal-wise, and I looked at myself and thought, what, judging better than most. I do good things. I'm thoughtful to people. I go to funerals, and send thoughtful notes, and I make phone calls when you should make phone calls when people are struggling. And you know, when I hit 50, I hit 50 in August. That's why the glasses are here. If you're, the lighting would be, I would have left them. But I hit 50, and I kind of took inventory of my life on it. And you know, I looked at it and thought, what an incredible life! I couldn't have dreamed about this life. And if you stop people and they talk about me, I think for the most part they would say, great guy, thoughtful, considerate, wonderful family, really blessed. And the truth of the matter was, I was completely empty. And no one knew that. No one knew that. And the challenge there was I didn't even know why I was empty. Like, I didn't have this feeling of, okay, I'm void in my faith, I need to find, you know, Jesus. But I didn't have that. I was empty, and I had no reason to justify my emptiness. So, without knowing what to do, this is about December of last year. It's important to realize that anytime I've had struggles in my life, and the worst was I had a brother who was killed in a car accident 26 years ago now. My first year at St. Mary's, actually, so that was brutal. It continues to sort of be a struggle for the family. But even then, I didn't turn to Jesus. It wasn't sort of an area that would have sort of made me feel, you know, I was looking there for comfort. So, anyway, with in December, with the feeling of emptiness and, you know, feeling like I've got a pretty blessed life, but inside I don't, I get up at 9 o'clock and I go to St. Ignatius and I go to Mass.
You just went to Mass, just random?
Completely random. I had to check what time the Mass was. I didn't know Father Cosgrove. I didn't know anybody that went to that church. I came in, it kind of looked like it looked 30 years ago. I found a little chair in the corner to kind of tuck myself away and sort of not really knowing why I'm there, but here we go. And Father Cosgrove's sermon that day was on everything I was experiencing. And not just sort of a little bit of what I'm experiencing. It was like, it could have been just me and him in the room having a conversation. So I'm weeping away at my pew, trying to collect it up a little bit. And at that point I said, you know, Jesus, if this is the sign, this is a pretty good one. I'm not sure where this is going, but it feels better than it did 10 minutes ago. From there, I booked a meeting with Father Cosgrove, and we went into his office, I guess, for 3 hours, and I bawled for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We had a confession for the first time in 30 years. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And we prayed, and he gave me some coaching on what to do. And I left there completely exhausted on my drive home, but feeling like there was something there. Didn't know what it was, but there's something there.
Bill, don't keep us in suspense. What happened?
So for the next 5 months, you know, I pretty much told Jesus on the way home, in between tears on that drive, that I turned myself over to you. Whatever you want to do with me, I'm all in. Poker, I'm all in. Whatever you want to do. And the last 5 months have been, I mean, if I say life-changing, that's not enough. I mean, it's been completely different than my first 50 years. Church is a wonderful place to be. I love every minute I'm there, and I'm now at St. Benedict's, and I'll explain why that's the case. And I hate to see the church end. I don't leave right away. I want to talk to people, and which was, believe me, I was sprinting when I was 20 years old out that door. I remember to bring the bulletin so I could talk to the sermon that my dad challenged me. Father Cosgrove asked me if I wanted, suggested I join the gym, the group of men, wonderful men, to meet every Friday morning to do his work and throw ourselves up to do his work. Funny that he told me the gym group started at 6 a.m. and I got there at 10 to 6 on a really cold Friday morning, or February morning, and apparently the gym starts at 7. So I spent 50 minutes thinking I'm in the wrong place, looking in windows and doors and thinking, oh, he's at some other church and I couldn't find it type thing, and then one of the gym members did show up, and I was definitely in the right place. So that's been wonderful every Friday. I took the Alpha course. One of our table leaders is here, Lori, and And that was great. We had lots of lively conversations. We probably crossed the line a few times, but in a good way. So that was wonderful learning. I've been reading continuously, and all book recommendations from some of my new Catholic family, whether it be C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity. If you've got an ego when you read that book, it's like a 10-round punch in the face. And again, in a good way. And then the Shack Revisited, Come Be My Light, Billy Graham's books, Rick Warren's, just and everyone, pulling nuggets of insights that can help me kind of grow my faith.
That's fantastic. Isn't that amazing? Matthew Collins says the 4 signs of a dynamic Catholic are somebody who prays every day, somebody who reads about Jesus, somebody who... I've forgotten one. Help me out. Well, I didn't want to ask him about his giving habits, so I was just going to do the first 3. But anyway, Bill is totally doing a great job here. And Bill is someone who's just coming alive in your faith, just someone who's coming to learn what it's like to be a Catholic, perhaps for the first time. How do you respond to something like the bishop's talk last night? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we had a bishop in Burlington when I was growing up give some talks. They weren't like that.
That's okay. Normally, when I weep during a homily, it's because it's so long. So, I mean, there's lots of cool things afoot in the diocese these days.
I was making a few notes, when I would speak to the bishop's talk, and that's the first time I've actually seen Bishop had seen before. Really early in the speech, he put meaning and purpose in something, and it really reinforced that is what I've been missing for 50 years, meaning and purpose. So those were 2 great words that really resonated with me. You talk about falling in love. I'm okay. And how that can change your life. And I realized, if not at that moment, prior to that I fell in love with Jesus about 6 months ago. And we talked about our purpose is to light the fire. It's not the church leader's role, it's our role. And we can't sit back and watch. We have to do that. A few other pieces: remove distractions, pay the price, go into the streets and battle, and it's a lifelong commitment. And for me, more personally, it's get out of Jesus' way, because that's been my primary goal. My primary goal, my biggest challenge the last 5 months has been get out of the way of Jesus, let him inside, check my ego, and listen for the signs when he calls me to do his actions. And when I've done that, it's been wonderfully rewarding. I'm getting better at it. And that'll be my purpose the rest of my life.
Amen. Bill Scollard, ladies and gentlemen.